Hi everyone and welcome to Season 5, Episode 3 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, the month of October in our current season has mostly come and gone. It's been a little bit hit and miss here and there, but we're still doing very well. Still, we have a game in hand over our direct opposition. We're sitting third in the table. Today, we play second place Burton Albion. So, all things considered, I'm still very happy with how this season is going. Welcome back into Truro City. Things are going great. Before we get going, if you're new here, let me know in the comments below. Just type hi or, put something about yourself in the comments below. Always interested to meet new people into the channel. If you are new and haven't done so yet, or if you've been around for a while and haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button and the notification bell. That helps you keep up to date with all the videos and gets you involved in the community a little bit more. The United City community, you can get involved in through Discord and Twitter. You can support me through Patreon and merchandise store. All of those links are in the description below. Go and check them all out. Let me know what you think about them. And also click that like button on this particular episode. That helps me get seen by lots more people, helps me to continue to grow the channel, and also helps me to know that you're connected to the content that I'm putting out. So if you could do those things for me, that would be great. But let's get into this episode and see how we get on against Burton Albion. So through October, the recent form has been all right. There has been a little bit of a blip. It came against Livingston in the Trust Trophy, which is a competition I'm not that bothered about, to be honest. But it gave us a loss and it just took us off kilter a little bit. Southend took advantage of that in the following game in the league and beat us 2-1. They're now sitting top of the table, so it was a top of the table clash. We've just dropped down to third place, but only 1 point behind them. If we go to the table itself, you can see that we're sitting third place on 13 games played, 28 points. 1 point behind both Southend and Burton Albion ahead of us. But we have that game in hand, which is fantastic. If we could win that, that puts us clear at the top again. But also today, if we beat Burton Albion at home today, that would really put one of our rivals behind us as well. So it's a bit of a key game today. There's no guarantees that we'll be able to do it. They're going to be tough, and I think we're going to struggle a little bit against some of the bigger sides in this division this season. But we're going to give it as good a go as possible. So you can see that if you're eagle-eyed and has been around for a little while, Striker Watch, you can see that they're still going strong. Aaron Hull got a couple, Charlie Ball got a couple there, McJanet against Livingston got a couple, Aaron Hull got one in the game against Exeter. That was a fantastic 6-2 win. It was brilliant. You can see in down this point here, D'Souza was the star of the show, was 3, but our strikers are still on the score sheet as well. Stevenage, we got a 3-2 win. McJanet and Hull both scored. So Striker Watch is going very well. They're doing fantastic, and it's keeping us pretty much at the top of the table until today. Let's see how we get on against Burton Albion. So, first thing to notice in the pre-match tactics is that we do have a couple of injuries, and they're to a couple of key players, to be honest. McJanet is out very briefly, but it's not worth rushing him back. So Charlie Ball will play today instead of him. And then we got the big injuries. We got Reece Devine, our left fullback, who is our best player by far this season in terms of attributes. He's done pretty well for us. Dunland's come in and done okay in replacement of him, but it doesn't change the fact that we really need Devine as much as possible. And he's been out for a couple of weeks already. He's still got two weeks to go as I nudge my computer and everything wobbles. But yeah, he's still got a little bit more time on his injury to go, but he'll be back in a couple of weeks, I hope. And we've also, unfortunately, got Bukoc, our central defensive Carolero. He's out as well, and he's out for 5 to 6 weeks, and he's still got 3 or 4 of those to go as well. So a couple of really key players not able to play for us for the last couple of weeks and for the next couple of weeks coming as well. So it's just been a little bit of a redesign in the team, a little bit. So Ball comes in for McJanet, Silla comes in for Bukoc, Dunland comes in for Devine. We've also got Fink in at right back instead of Rogers, just because Rogers hasn't been playing that particularly well. We've got issues still defensively with the likes of Kazoo below par as well. So that's why we're shipping in some goals, unfortunately. But other than that, everybody else is doing pretty well for us. I'm happy enough. And for today's game against Burton Albion, that all means that we have Roberts in goal, Fink at right back, Dunlan at left back, Kazoo and Whitmore in central defence, Silla and Williams in central midfield, Knowles on the right because Wright Phillips has just got a little bit of a low fitness as well, D'Souza on the left, and Hull and Bull up top, with a bench of Bowery, Stavrou, Rogers, Walker, Wright Phillips, Salam and Neil. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So even though we're doing very well this season and we're sitting far above expectation, we have to be aware that we are coming up against some of the big sides at the moment. So I've gone with quite a low-key team talk at home, just to say go out there and give the fans their money's worth. It just felt the right sort of team talk to do. There's no pressure on them today, really. If we can get a win, it would be fantastic. If we can not lose, I'll be happy enough with that, just to keep pace with the bigger sides. What's gone on there? It looks like Burton Albion have picked up an early injury. We've got a right-sided throw-in. Fink into Hull, but he loses possession. And it's Abrahams for Burton Albion that picks up the ball in the attacking. And they've worked a really good opportunity down the left-hand side, but a good block. I suspect that was from Fink in the right fullback position. And he did a fantastic job to get back, having done the throw-in. Corner comes into the far post. And what's happened here? Oh, they've given a free kick to us. I thought for a second it might have been the other way around and we'd given a penalty away, but it wasn't. They fouled us in an attempt to get the header on the ball for the off the corner kick. You can see so far, though, 4 shots at goals, none on target for them. 0-0 for us after 25 minutes. So it's been a very, very cagey game so far. And no major attempts for us. A couple have just rolled onto the ticker at that point. So we're beginning to show ourselves. But so far in this first half, whilst nothing much has happened highlight-wise, which doesn't actually do us much harm, it hasn't been particularly exciting, and I would have expected a little bit more from us at home, just in terms of having 1 or 2 chances that were worthy of having a look at. But 9 shots at goal, 4 on target in the end for them, 2 and 2 for us, pretty much 50-50% possession. Very low XG ratings, especially for us. Pass completion is a little bit low for both teams, and it's been a little bit dreary so far. Or cagey, I think, is possibly the right way to look at it. Neither side really wanting to do anything to cause themselves a problem and shoot themselves in the foot and open up the play too much to allow the opposition in. So we've got to be a bit careful here, I suspect. We could try and go gun-ho at them, but I don't think it would work particularly. I think we're just going to have the hands in the pockets as a gesture, just to calm things down a little bit. Let's see. It's time for everyone to dig in and give what you've got left tonight. We deserve to win this match. Let's go and do it. Let's go and give that one, I would suggest. It just puts enough on them to say we can do something here, but it doesn't put too much pressure on them. And let's go into the shouts immediately and just demand more from them. We'll have to wait and see what that does. It's a throw-in originally for Burton down that left-hand side for them. And Hull picks up the loose ball as it's cleared. D'Souza takes over, cuts in centrally off that left wing. Goes on a very mazy run past a couple of players to the top of the box. And then puts a really decent shot over the top just, but it was such a good run, wasn't it, from D'Souza down that, through that centre point, really, cutting in off the wing to come and collect the ball. It goes long to Hull, but he drops off the ball. Knowles wins it, a loose ball, and gets it back to Hull. Gets a chance to turn, crosses the ball in, but it's not a particularly good cross. Silla picks up the loose ball at the top of the box. Williams through to D'Souza, and that, I think, was a really good save, right-handed save by the goalkeeper to parry it round the post, and it was. And we get Dunlan on the corner kick to the far post. It's partially cleared, and Burton Albion do pick up the loose ball with Smith, and he moves down the left-hand side for them, but Silla cuts back on him and puts a really good challenge in and puts the ball out for a throw-in. And we're defending quite well at this point, but we're not quite as lucky in the opposition defence, in the opposition area, should I say. Couple of chances come and gone, 70 minutes on the clock, so we're just going to see if we can freshen up the team a little bit. We've got a couple of underperforming players, a couple at the back as is usual this season, to be honest. We've also got Silla not completely coping particularly well in the replacement of Bukoc in central midfield. We've also got Charlie Ball up top, again a replacement, not doing great. So Charlie Ball can come out and Neil will go in. We're going to put Walker in for Silla and then just switch him and Williams round. I think they just play those roles better when they play together. And we can make a defensive change, of course we can. We could bring Rodgers back in for Fink, but I also think we could potentially do something in these wide areas as well. What are we going to do? I think we're going to do what we should do, really. We're going to take the underperforming player at the back out and we're going to put Rodgers back in and just see if he can shore up that right-hand side for us in the last 20 minutes of the game. I'm going to stay on balance just for the moment. I don't think there's any need to sort of come out at them too much. It'll open the space up a little bit. And after all, I'm reasonably happy if we can get a draw. But the cross comes in and there was a good chance for Hull and he doesn't quite manage to get the header right. It was a really good chance. He cut across the defender that was marking him, got in first, and then just the ball clipped his head and went slightly wide. Throw in for us down the right-hand side, partially cleared, but Williams picks it up again for us at the top of the box, goes past one player and then blasts the shot at goal. But again, it's slightly wide. And it's not quite working out in the shooting accuracy on those chances today. A couple of minutes left. The corner comes in again for us. We're putting on all the pressure, which is really good to see at this point in the game. Whitmore picks up the ball for us, drops it back to Williams, the creative player. Over the top for Knowles, gets the early cross in, and there is Hull in the top of the 6-yard box. Slides in, sticks out a leg, gets there first before the defender. And with a minute or so of normal time to go, we take a lead, and it's been coming a little bit. We have been putting the pressure on over the last sort of 10-15 minutes of the game, which is great. Brilliant sweeping ball from Williams, first time cross from Knowles, and there is Hull sliding in front of the defender. And we go 1 up, and can we just hold on for the last couple of minutes of the game with no problems? We do. We nab a really, really good win at the end of a slightly iffy kind of cagey game where nothing much was really given. In the last 10 minutes or so of the tie, we absolutely battered them in terms of creating chances and pushing at them, and eventually it paid off for us and we got a really good 1-0 win. So we're just going to take a quick look at some of the numbers, etc. today, just to see where we won it. You can see that in the end, we closed up the chances created a bit. We got 9 and 5 on target. They got 11 and 4 on target. XG ratings, we were just at 1.23. They were at 1.06. So in theory, it should have been potentially a 1-1 draw, but we just managed to convert one of our many chances that we had in the latter part of the game and win it. And they never quite got going in that second half, did they? We got a few decent corner opportunities in that second half specifically. Pass completion, a little bit low for us, but that's okay in terms of just, enabling us to do what we need to do. We upped the possession rate though to 54%. So overall we just shaded the possession, and in the end Hull got that one goal which took us over the edge and gave us the 3 points. You can see that the shots really were a bit few and far between. We got a good clump in that central area in the penalty box, but a couple long range shots as well that were higher wide and just didn't quite hit the shooting boots today. In terms of Burton's shot map, you can see that they're more spread out in terms of their chances. Again, they had some long shots that didn't quite manage to do it, but a couple in on the 6-yard box that they put wide or over the top as well. So they didn't have their shooting boots on either. 7.6 was the best rating from Aaron Hull, having got the goal. You can see that the action zones were fairly equal, for want of a word that I can't find. So that's not too bad. In terms of the heat map, we actually played quite high up the pitch compared to them. I know you won't be able to see it behind my head, but if this is where the defensive line is for Burton, on the Burton heat map, our defensive line comes at this point here. So you can see that we were pushing them a little bit and they were dropping back a little bit. And eventually, because we were at home, we had more of the opportunities to push that. and eventually it paid off for us, which is fantastic. So go and have a look at a couple of the key things. Let's have a look at the shots that we created in this particular match. We'll look at the goal just in and around the penalty box from Hull, sliding in to get that goal. 4 off target, 3 from outside the box, as we've already said. 1 pretty much from the same point that Hull got his goal from as well, though, which potentially he put wide. If you remember, it was that header that he skimmed the ball and it just didn't quite go in the direction he wanted to. And then 4 of them were also saved by the goalkeeper from fairly close in, so he had a reasonable game trying to keep us out. So all in all, I think we could have done with a couple more shots, just because when could we never not do with a couple more shots? But I think overall it wasn't too bad. Let's have a look at the pass completion. That's actually not as chaotic as it normally is it? You can see that it was a little bit of a subdued game, really, but that's okay. We had 6 intercepted passes, couple of long clearances, and a couple in here that probably should have found their target. A few blocked ones, again, up through the pitch, and that's unfortunate that we couldn't get that potential cross in from D'Souza. And then unsuccessful ones, we forget these ones because they're clearing, we forget the throw in. So it's this bulk in midfield. Maybe we could have done a bit better. Some of our central defenders like Whitmore had a clump of them in this particular area, still trying to get over the top, maybe too early. And ultimately out of play ones as well, looking for wide men to make runs. Not quite as accurate as I'd like us to be, but there aren't too many of them today. So all in all, it's not too bad. Let's go and have a look today at the movement of the team. So we had 2 offsides, and one was fairly close down this right hand side to the touchline, so I'm not quite sure what happened there, and one from Aaron Hull trying to move offside too early. And let's go to the movement map and just see where our team are going in terms of their defensive structure. In the first half was pretty good, and you can see that they're spending quite a lot of time defending this area. You can tell because the front guys are not getting down to the box. There's the first opportunity. You can see that we had to be quite defensively sound in that first half, but if we click it through, let's grab the clicker and go through to the last sort of 10 minutes or so of the match. A little bit further on from there, you can see that we begin to push this area a little, this area a little bit. We've changed ends, and all of the opportunities are coming for us in that second half. All we did in that second half was up the team talk a little bit to get them to be remotivated, demand a little bit more from them in the shouts, but keep the same shape, keep the same players up until the 20-minute mark, where last 20 minutes, where we changed a few of them. And it just about worked for us. And you can see that all of the opportunities came in that last part. We defended really well and countered really well. And that is ultimately where we won the game from. In that second period of the second half, we managed to get on the front foot, pushed them back in. They couldn't get out. And eventually the pressure told. And it got us a very, very good 1-0 win against a very good direct rival. We've got quite a busy November coming up. It's always quite a busy month. Couple of different cup competitions in there. We've got a 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup to get into the FA Cup proper, to come against an unknown opponent late in the month. And so we're going to play through November and come back for the Newport County game in the SkyBet League Two, unless, of course, things get moved around again because of all of these different cup competitions. There are far too many cup competitions for a club like us to have to play, when we've also got a 44-game season in the league as well, I think. But, you know, it is what it is. So we're rotating aside through the cup competitions because it's not our priority, and just hoping that we can get through a couple of rounds. We might try and put out a decent side in the FA Cup to get into the first round proper, but other than that, they're not a priority for me this season at all. It's the league that is, and you can see that form has been decent. So long may that continue through November. As I say, back for Newport at the end of the month. Between then and now, We've got league games against Grimsby, Morecambe, Swindon, Notts County, Rochdale, Northampton. Lots of decent games to come. Lots of opportunities for points. I'm not sure whether in there is going to be our game in hand or not. Let's see who else hadn't played their 14th or 15th game so far. So we've got Notts County as a possible. Swindon, yeah, there's a couple in there. So it might happen in November. So by the time we come back for the Newport game, we might have a clearer picture as to exactly where we are in the league. But of course, currently we sit top of the table. Southend lost their didn't play their game, they haven't played their 15th. We played our 14th today, still with that game in hand, so Southend could still take over again. But ultimately we are doing exactly what we wanted to do. We beat another top tier rival in Burton Albion, and we can now begin to really think about where can we finish this season and where are we going to be happy with. We were predicted 20th, of course, as a newly promoted side. I'm still looking top 10 and above as a definite. Top 7 to get into the playoff at least would be pretty phenomenal. So those are kinds of the goals that we're beginning to set ourselves. But November, December are going to be key months to keep that momentum moving forward and see where we are by the end of the calendar year. So come and join me for the next episode for Newport County in the SkyBet League Two. There's lots of other cup competitions going on, as I say, so I'll update you on them. We'll find out by then who's our 4th qualifying round FA Cup opponent will be. And all things considered, things are going fantastically well. Thank you for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel, as I said earlier in their episode, if you haven't already, and join my United City community. Check all of the links for the community stuff in the description below. Click that like button on this particular episode. Come on, we got a good win today against Burton Albion. Top of the table clash, and we won it. If that's not worth a like from you, I'm not sure what is. Helps me get more views on the content, and it also makes me know that you're connected to it. So please do that for me. It's really important for the channel. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.